podcast where we will pontificate on things that will entertain your brain. We thank you for joining in with us today. If you've never seen us before, here we are.
Lucky SOB.
Because I have all these wonderful people with me, let's start ladies first. This lovely lady is just back from her tour of Scandinavia and the subcontinent. She is the amazing, the wonderful, the Mackenzie.
That part's true. I am
All
Mackenzie.
right. And down on the end, my follically challenged brother from another mother, the wonderful, still Charlie.
I am.
He said, I am.
I am.
And of course, I am just freshly released from prison. I am your host with the utmost.
We need to start doing background checks.
Well, you know,
Don't give him your honey bun.
you leave the door open and anybody like me can walk in. I'm Big G, and we are here to entertain you and talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. We'd like to thank some of our people that help us. Of course, Drake at Sweetwater is freaking amazing. We love you, buddy.
Drake.
And notice I'm not even trying to say his last name and screw it up. So,
Good job. Yeah.
Also, there's somebody who makes amazing, wonderful, sweet delicacies, and we want to thank Sweet Segovia Delicacies.
Thank you.
Absolutely, we love them so. If you need things for the holidays, chocolates, things like that, they are the people to see.
Yes.
Of course, there's other people we'd like to thank, like the National Association of People who Belong to a National Association.
What?
The National Association of Turtle Racing, where they're fast as shell. I'm trying to do ones that she's not going to get mad at, like, you know, the Fresh Baked Toilet Cake Company of Paducah, Kentucky, which is a fine business. I don't know why she has such aversion to them.
Funny enough, there's 3 exits to Paducah.
That's right. That'd be a great name for an album for a band. 3 Exits to Paducah.
Ew.
No, like for off the highway.
I know, but I don't like any of it.
Logistics, baby.
Can't stand you.
We're going to sit and talk about something today. Something everybody can relate to.
What's
and
that?
it's well, it's. I was going to go with just how amazingly wonderful I was, but
Okay,
that's not
we
something
can talk about that,
everybody can relate to. So we're going to go with something everyone can relate to. How many times have you been at work, you've been at school, you've been at home, you've been somewhere, and somebody told a joke? Anybody?
Quite a few
Anybody?
times. Quite a few times.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
A joke?
You've
never
never
been
heard a
told
joke.
Never ever. Never
This
heard
is
one
going to
or
be a
told one.
completely
No,
new
'cause
experience.
I am
for
the
sure.
joke.
Oh. He's
I had no idea where I was going with
You're just
that.
like,
Yeah, everybody's heard a joke, man, whether you're at work or somewhere. Maybe you weren't even being told the joke, you just overheard it. But people tell jokes to entertain and get a laugh and a chuckle and a guffaw. So I just went on the internet and found some stuff about
Ooh.
jokes. I never realized there were so many types.
oh,
There's things
I
like
hope people type them.
what?
people can type jokes, yes. There's, of course, the one I just made reference to, prison jokes.
Is that a joke?
No.
There's puns,
lost.
redneck jokes,
Okay.
riddles, toilet humor, yo mama jokes, one-liners, off-color humor,
Oh.
observational comedy, light bulb jokes. We've all heard that. You know, I told one time about how many Germans does it take to screw in a light bulb. We are wonderful engineers. It only takes one German. I don't know why you think we can't screw in a light bulb. You know. There's knock-knock jokes. Ready? Go ahead. Somebody do one.
Ooh. Knock knock.
Come in. Oh, I always screw those up. I'm sorry.
I got nervous. I thought I was actually going to have to come up with
Sorry.
a joke.
I'm horrible at them.
I
There's
know.
I have to use other people's
apparently flatulence jokes, elephant jokes. Everybody's heard of elephant jokes. What do you do to an elephant with 3 balls?
2 elephants with 3 balls.
Yeah, what do you do to an elephant with 3 balls?
Do 2 elephants with 3 balls.
Of course, you walk him and
Math.
pitch to the rhino.
You walk him.
It's a baseball joke.
Oh.
Okay. There's desert island
I saw it.
jokes. Not fun with this one. Dead baby
Oh.
jokes.
Oh.
There's
I like
dad
those.
jokes, cruel
Huh?
jokes, cringe
I like dead
comedy,
baby jokes.
conditional
Get out.
jokes, callbacks, British humor, blonde jokes.
What are callbacks?
Yeah, what are
Those
callbacks?
are where you talk about something and then come back to it. Ron White's famous to it, where he talks about this isn't his real job as comedy. He sells shrimp out of a van or something, and then he'll go on through a story and then come back and say, "Well, hell, what do I know? I just sell shrimp out of a van."
Ah,
Oh.
it's a long joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's blonde jokes, which are always my favorite.
Mhm.
So easy. Unless
yes.
you're telling them to blondes.
Why can't blondes be pharmacists?
Why?
Why?
Because they can't fit the little bottles in the typewriter. Two blondes walking down on
a typewriter.
To put the label
on.
Wait, I don't get it. They can't be pharmacists because they can't fit 2 bottles in a typewriter.
They can't
fit
put the bottle in
bottles
the
in
typewriter to type the label.
Oh, I get it now.
There we go. Dun, 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 dun.
Greedy.
Here, we'll try this one. Ready? Two blondes are walking down a river, one on this side, one on this side, and they're looking at each other. And one says, "Hey." The other one says, "What?" She says, "How do I get on the other side?" The other one says, "You are on the other side."
I got that one.
Okay.
Did you ever hear the one about the one that got pulled over by a cop?
No.
Cop walks up. Cop's blonde too. Blonde gets pulled over. The cop walks up. She's blonde too. And she goes, license, registration. She pulls out a compact mirror. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were a cop," and walks away.
License and registration. Pull
Yeah.
out a mirror.
Pulls out a compact mirror by mistake instead of pulling out of her license.
Oh, because she thought she needed it.
No. She grabs her purse and she thinks it's her license and registrations, but it's a compact mirror. The cop looks at the mirror and goes, "Oh, you're a cop. My bad," and walks away.
Okay,
I didn't tell
now.
it very well.
Okay.
I got it now. See, jokes make me nervous because I don't know if I'm gonna get them or not.
Well, there's actually
I didn't
tell
it very well.
Okay.
That's on me.
How about, do you know what an anti-joke is?
Where it's not funny on purpose.
Exactly. Like, what's
I hate
brown and
those
sticky?
Jokes.
A stick.
Stop laughing.
Why? It's true.
And then there's also bar jokes. Everybody in this
I like
world
bar
has heard of it,
Except for when they're like, what happens when 3 guys walk into a bar? I never get those, and I don't even know if I've ever really heard one finish all the way.
I combine. I do a bar joke that's an anti-joke, which is 2 guys walk into a bar, which is ridiculous because after the first one hit it, you'd think the second one would have ducked.
Oh. I got that one.
Or here's another anti-bar joke. A priest, a rabbi, and a preacher walk into a bar, and the bartender gets really pissed because he realizes none of them are drinking. He's not going to sell anything. They're just going to waste his time. So
I've been that bartender.
Oh no.
Except it was.
Oh no. Oh no, Charlie.
And then there's animal jokes and all kinds of things. There's my favorite, which are parrot jokes.
Parrot jokes.
I'm going to tell you my favorite parrot joke. Are you ready for this?
No.
This is actually a physical one at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Now, this one is slightly off. Well, it is off-color humor. So, those of you who are children, don't tell your parents you're watching this.
I don't need this recorded.
There's a guy that's in the military and he gets wounded and he loses an eye and he gets discharged, and they said, you ought to get one of those therapy animals, So he says, that's a great idea. It'll help with my recovery. So he goes to the pet store and he says, "Hey man, I want to get one of those therapy dogs." The guy says, "I'm all out." He says, "All right, I'll take a therapy cat." He says, I'm all out. "Okay, how about a therapy fish or a therapy fry?" "Dude, I'm going out of business.
Oh.
I don't have anything except," "Dude, I'm just going out of business." He goes, No, you were going to say something." He goes, "Well, I got this parrot." He says, "But I don't think you wanted all the kids used to come in here and teach it how to say things, and it would curse, and I've been stuck with it forever." He goes, "Well, how much is it?" He goes, "Dude, if you want the parrot, take it." So he takes the parrot home, and he goes, "All right, parrot, here's your new house." And the parrot walks around. He's looking around. He goes, "So what do you think of it?" And the parrot goes, "Rah! Fuck you, one eye." He says, "No, look here, you little feathery guy. Me and you are going to be living together. You can't be walking around saying things like that. So the parrot, he's just kind of doing things. He's checking it out. And guy sits down. He's watching a TV. The parrot's watching TV with him. And he turns his head and he goes, "Rah! Fuck you one night." He says, "Look here, man. I'm not going to put up with this crap." He says, "Don't say that again or you're going to regret it." And the parrot says, "Rah! Fuck you one night." And he says, "That's it." He says, "If you say that one more time, I'm going to take my knife and cut your little tongue out." And the parrot goes, "Rah, fuck you," and he does it. He just grabs him and cuts his tongue out. And man, that bird is pissed. He's just walking around flapping his wings. And he goes, "Yeah, see, I told you not to say it. I told you it was going to happen. What do you think of that?" And the parrot goes, "Dun dun 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 dun." Um,
You were all into it. You were like,
Yeah, I was worried for the parrot.
yeah,
"Oh,
so
fuck
basically,
the
we're just
parrot."
going to sit and tell jokes for this episode.
I can't tell any of mine.
There,
I don't have
how about my
any.
penguin jokes? Penguin jokes are great.
I have a little penguin.
You have a little penguin. Well, then
Cute little penguin.
A penguin.
this is actually
Penguin.
a leprechaun penguin joke. So there's two leprechauns,
Confused.
and they walk up to the door of a convent one day, and they knock on the door. And Mother Superior comes to the door and says, "Can I help you?" And he says, "Oh, good morning, Mother Superior. Sorry to be interrupting your day, but we were just wondering if you had any leprechaun nuns in your congregation." And she says, "No, I'm sorry, we don't have any leprechaun nuns." He goes, "Oh, thank you, dear. Just one moment before you go. Would you happen to be knowing of any leprechaun nuns in the near area?" She says, "Well, hold on, I can go check the computer." And he goes, "Oh, that'd be great." So she's gone for like 2 minutes and comes back and says, "I checked. There's nothing in the near area, no leprechaun nuns." He goes, "Oh, thank you, mothers. One more thing before you go. Would you be knowing of any leprechaun nuns here in the state?" She says, "Hold on, let me go check the computer." So she goes and checks and comes back about 20 minutes later. And she says, "No, I've checked. There's no leprechaun nuns in the state." He goes, "Oh, thank you, Mother Superior. Just one more thing before you go. Would you be knowing of any leprechaun nuns in the country?" You can tell she's kind of mad, but she's, "Hold on, let me go check." Goes and checks, and she comes back and says, "No, I've checked. There are no leprechaun nuns in the area, in the county, in the country, in the state." And he goes, "Oh, thank you, Mother Superior. Just one more thing before you go. Would you be knowing of any leprechaun nuns in the world?" She says, "All right, I'll go check." Comes back 3 hours later and goes, "Look, I've checked. There are no near leprechaun nuns. There are none in this county. There are none in this state. There are none in this country. There are no leprechaun nuns in the world." He says, "Oh, thank you, Mother Superior. That's fine to hear." And he turns to his little leprechaun buddy and goes, "See, Seamus, I told you buggered the penguin." Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god.
Well,
Poor penguin.
and then let's see, what other kind of jokes are there? You don't have any jokes,
No, I mean I do. I've never obviously from I've never been very good at telling them. I mean that blonde joke was freaking horrible. So
All right, so here's a joke about
He
people
gave
that
up after that.
people that can't tell a joke. All right,
Mhm,
so
mhm. It's
this
gonna be about us.
no, it's
hello.
it's
Thanks, Greg.
there's a guy
This
there's a
movie
guy
about
in prison
us.
and he sits down at lunch.
Oh,
And it's his
no.
first day
It's
in
about
prison,
you.
and as he's eating,
Never been to prison.
no, that was me that was in prison.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I was prom queen, so
Something hard. I got knocked
so
out
anyway,
something hard.
Knock on wood.
the guy's in prison for his first day. He's eating lunch, and as he's eating lunch, he hears 1437, and everybody cracks up laughing. He goes back to eating, and 824, everybody cracks up laughing. 3514, everybody cracks up laughing. So he looks the guy next to him. He goes, "What, man?" He goes, "What the hell is going on?" He goes, "We're telling jokes." What do you mean you're telling jokes? He goes, dude, calm down. He says, are you new here? He goes, yeah. He goes, let me explain how this works. Most of us have been here for 10 years or more. When you're in prison, there's not a whole lot to do. We sit and tell jokes all day. You waste a lot of time telling the jokes. So what we did is we just wrote them all down. We gave them numbers. Everybody's got them memorized.
Oh
So to
no.
save time, we just say the number. Everybody knows what joke we're talking about, and you laugh. And he goes, man, that's great. He goes, can I try one out? He goes, sure. He goes, all right. Wait till he explains this. 2855. Nothing happens.
Ooh.
Maybe I didn't say it right. He goes, 2855. Nothing happens. Just dead silence. He looks at the guy and goes, what's wrong? He goes, man, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's some people that can tell a joke and some people that can't. Dun, 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 dun. Shh.
I'm good at laughing at jokes, but I'm horrible at telling
telling
them.
them.
And I've got friends that like they just hit the
Yeah.
punch, like they hit them perfectly, and I'm like, mm.
I
I mean,
like-
I laugh, but
yeah,
like
I like watching like
Well-
comedic like shows and stuff like Wildin' Out and stuff like that. Like I
Mhm.
like watching them, but like telling them, no.
Well, how
Not for me.
about religious jokes? You want to hear a nice, clean religious joke?
Oh no, I don't think that's a real thing.
No, there are. There's nice. It's a nice, clean religious joke.
I can't even say it.
sure.
All right. So there's this drunk
Let's
guy,
see.
and he's walking home down by the river, and he notices there's a whole bunch of people there, and it's a preacher that's baptizing people. And being the drunk that he is, he just wanders right up to him and, what are you doing? And the preacher says, we're having a religious ceremony. He says, would you like to find Jesus? And he goes, okay. So the preacher takes and dunks him in the water and brings him up and says, did you find Jesus? And he goes, no.
Oh.
The preacher's a little embarrassed, so he takes him and rebaptizes him and pulls him up and goes, did you find Jesus now? And he goes, no. Well, now everybody's kind of looking funny, and the preacher's really worried. So he grabs him and takes him and dunks him under and really holds him till the guy starts kicking and screaming. He brings him up and he goes, did you find Jesus now? And he goes, no. Are you sure this is where he fell in at? Dun, 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 dun.
Look at those. Look at those.
The whole time you were like,
By the river.
What is that?
That's
SNL.
Saturday Night Live Chris Farley.
Chris
thing.
Farley is it's
He used to be a motivational speaker because he lived in a van
Van
by the river.
down by the
Right.
river.
We'll show her that. I think
Yeah,
I've
we'll
got
show
it.
you. It's
But there's all kinds of jokes and all kinds of different things to do it. And as we've talked about, there are people that can tell jokes and there's people that can't.
dude, Andrew
um,
Schultz can tell a mean joke. God.
How about people that, as comedians,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
there's certain ones like Gilbert Gottfried who used to just joke after joke, and I remember the guy that I can't remember his name. He always used to do the jokes. Henny Youngman, take my wife, please.
Please.
My wife said she wanted to go somewhere she's never been before. I said, how about the kitchen?
What about the guy that that does the puppets?
Jeff Dunham, he
Oh
cracks
my
jokes
gosh,
with those.
he's so funny.
So, and there's certain people that just have joke after joke after joke that's coming to you. And then you have what I'm going to classify as orators, people like Louis Grizzard, Jeff Foxworthy. Not only can they tell a quick joke, but they also tell stories. And
Yeah,
the
like a lot of
story becomes the joke.
there's like what's his name that does it now? The bald redhead dude.
Bald, redhead.
He was
dude.
bald. No,
He
he was
was bald,
he was
now he has
redheaded.
red
Now he's
hair.
bald. Jeez, never mind. But there's a lot of good comedians out there. I like some of the guys that do the one-liners. There's a guy from Britain. I can't remember his name. He was on. There's a lot of. I like to watch some British shows, but he was
Newer
like,
guy, tall, skinny,
no,
black hair.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was I guess like middle height, just
Middle height.
glasses, brown hair. I mean,
Glasses.
nothing really like to like make him like it was this dude. He used to be on. There were some shows that I like. 9 out of 10 Cats. It's a what's that British guy that has the? He's got the dark hair.
The British guy.
He does he does. Oh yeah, this is making me look really intelligent. No, he does the real like bad sexual jokes. I mean, he's
Oh my lord.
I don't like people that make jokes about me like that. But
no. This guy's. I mean, yeah, I get you, but
yeah,
he's.
I'm not sure on that one.
I'd have to look him up. I can't think of his name.
I'm lost.
He looks like a evil ventriloquist doll.
What?
Look him up, and I'll talk about
Ah,
something
jeez.
else for the moment because, um,
What about like female comedians? Like I like Angela
Oh.
Johnson. Have you seen
Oh.
her stuff?
yep.
Did you ever see her like burger skit?
Oh yes.
Oh
And
my gosh, that's
there's
so
so
funny.
many great. There's Nikki Glazer, Kathleen Madigan, just all kinds of great
Jimmy
female.
Carr.
Jimmy Carr. That's who I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about, but
Let me see.
and of course there's
Oh.
there's British humor,
don't
which
know if
is
I've
more
seen
dry
him.
humor.
You've never
and-
seen him?
No, he looks like
Doesn't he look like an evil ventriloquist?
No, he
Kind of.
looks like on like the credit card like commercials or something. Like, he
But
looks
What's
like
in
he's
your
like,
wallet?
he looks like he's an ad,
But he's funny as hell.
or like he could be like one of the sales insurance guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure you would like his comedy though.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the whole thing.
He's
There's
pretty raw.
there's
goodness.
all kinds of different jokes and all kinds of
Yeah.
different comedy, and there's a billion more jokes that we could tell here that I think I've been as raw as we're going to get for this. So, I don't want to go too crazy.
There's one joke from this guy, and his name is, I want to say his name is Steve Hawkins. He's a Christian comedian, so his shows are clean. And so we went to go see him when I was like younger. He has this one that he talks about his son wanted to play this game with him. He's like in high school. He's like, "What are you wanting to do?" And he was like, it's called or no, that's what it is. He not a game. He wanted to practice his reflexes, and he was like, "And how are we going to do that? Like, just like throw a ball?" He goes, "No." I'm going to stand across the yard with my eyes closed and blindfold myself, and you're going to throw a brick at me, and I'm going to catch it. And he was like, how are you going to know that it's coming? And he was like, I'm going to listen for the wind. And he was like, well, I threw it. His mom wasn't too happy. He did not hear the wind.
Is he blonde?
No, he has, I think he has brown hair.
There was a blonde guy that I think he did stuff with his wife. And I thought they were Christian, but I don't think they are.
Oh. There's another one. His name
No,
is...
he did comedy with his wife on the stage. Not
Oh,
sorry,
goodness.
sorry,
Okay.
my
Oh,
bad,
goodness.
my bad. Just throwing that out
I
there,
went to a
just
whole
in
different
case people were
direction.
like, he did stuff with his wife.
Wait a second.
You
Wait a second.
sick,
Run that back.
Sick.
There's another one in another Christian comedian. I think he is, but his name is, I want to say, Bob Smiley, and he has like a really high pitched voice.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Do you?
yes.
And he was saying that he heard somebody downstairs, and his wife was like, "Go check it out. Go check it out." He was like, "I don't think I should be the one to go check it out." And she's like, "Go check it out. You're the man. Like, you're my husband. Go check it out." And he was like, "Okay." So he said he went to the top of the stairs and said, "You listen here. I'll go get my husband if you don't get out the house."
There's all kinds of different, and I love comedians. There's a billion different comedians. I could sit here and name them
Well,
off
there's
for
some big
probably a
guys
half
going.
hour.
Yeah, there's some big guys going now. There's some like really popular ones. That I
Oh
like.
yeah, and I mean that's what I loved about Comedy Central is they used to have the Comedy Central Presents with all the different comedians and different.
I
things.
used to watch Def Jams, man. And
Oh,
those
yeah.
good.
What is that?
Oh, George.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Martin Lawrence started it up, and it was for young
Mhm.
black comedians or
Oh.
up and coming black comedians. Like a lot of
The producer guy Simmons,
Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons, and
I've
them
heard
did
of that.
Well, it was Russell Simmons' Def Jam, but like Martin
And-
Lawrence would come on and do the introduction.
Yeah, he was one of the
Hmm.
hosts. Because
but he was also involved in the back. Like I think he helped because Martin was big at the time.
and he was able to pull some good guys in on that show. I think.
Yeah, like
because of
Chris Tucker
Chris
kind of got
Tucker.
started on that.
There was all kinds
Okay,
of.
wait, I
Um,
know that it is.
Yeah, he did the things with the movies with Jackie Chan.
Mhm, mhm.
Dude, he
He's
knows
funny.
everybody.
Oh
Really?
yeah.
He knows everybody. Like
Does he know you?
Well, he's
Well,
not that
people of
famous.
influence, people of like people with. I mean, literally, like I mean, he hung out with Michael
Huh.
Jackson. He did.
So he's like well connected in like that
yeah, like
community.
all over
Well,
the world.
there's a whole nother thing of jokes is Michael Jackson jokes.
I don't do Michael Jackson jokes. I love that man. I
Oh,
don't care. I don't believe. I don't believe.
What? That
well,
he's
that's what I
dead?
say. It's just a
No, I
category.
know that,
There
but
can
no.
be there can be jokes
Jesus.
about anything. How about people that do impressions?
Oh,
Do drag queens count? Because they can be real funny. If you've been to a drag queen show,
Oh, drag queens can
they
absolutely
can
be
be
funny.
so funny.
I've been watching a lot of Shane Gillis lately.
I don't know that.
He does. He kind of hangs out with. He kind of runs in like kind of in the Joe Rogan circle, but he's been
Okay,
on
okay.
Rogan's thing. He's done some other stuff,
Yeah.
but he does a really good Donald Trump. I was actually talking me and a guy at work the other night. We were talking about like literally because I'm never mind. I'm not going to go into it,
Oh
but
no.
he does a really good Donald Trump. There's another guy. I can't think of his name. I'd have to look him up, but he does impressions of a lot of people really well. Like he
Oh,
came
there's
out, he had a setup. He came out and he was like he was pretending like he was this foreign dude, and everybody was just watching it because I guess it was like
Mhm.
it was kind of like a backwater comedy club or something or backwoods or I don't know. It wasn't like one of the popular ones,
Mm.
but because it was him, and I don't think they had his name up. He was just it was like maybe like an open mic thing. He
Huh.
comes out and he pretends like he's this uh like foreign dude and he's just talking in this voice. Then he goes, "You know what? I'm sorry. I'm really from Connecticut." And everybody was like, "Wow."
there are tons of comedians I love. One of them is a guy named Henry Cho. He's Korean. He was born in the United
Oh
States,
yeah,
but
but he talks like a redneck.
he's got a redneck
What?
voice, and
Yeah,
that's
he's like
why he
from
tells
Texas, isn't
people.
he?
Well, he's from Tennessee, so that's
Okay,
why he
that's
tells
right.
people he's South Korean.
Mhm.
From the South, and
Oh.
he grew up in Tennessee and married a girl from Arab, Alabama. And he talks about all that. He's hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got twang.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he is a
I'm gonna have
like
to look him up
if
and
you
see what
would
he sounds like.
if you just list him on the radio,
Yeah.
you'd be like,
I've
that
got
dude
his
is one
album. Yeah,
white ass redneck.
Yeah,
has
you'd
a
never know what he looked like.
has a
Mm-mm.
great album called "What's That Clicking Noise."
Oh.
Talking about when he's talking about somebody's blinker. But there's another guy that I love as a comedian. His name's David Cross. He's also an actor. He was in the Men in Black movie. He was the guy that the morgue that was spraying the
Yeah,
flies and stuff. But
Oh.
he's an
I've actually
amazing.
I didn't know
I've
that.
been to
Yeah,
his stand up before.
yeah.
And
Huh.
He's from Roswell.
yeah, he used to. I
Oh.
saw him in Athens.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
he's great.
cool.
There's another comedian I love, Christopher Titus, who had a show.
Oh my god.
He's great.
Oh no.
No, I
Then
love no. His show was hilarious. His stand up, he got
oh yeah,
real big, real fast. Did his show and then
then his
just kind of
Did?
wife
disappeared.
He's
wiped
done?
his ass out.
Yeah,
Oh no.
They had some issues and some things, and then he also I think
I
got
mean he's
sued by
still
some.
around, but
He's
he's
still
just
around. He's a big producer of other
yeah.
things now. I think.
So he just like helps
Um,
out more.
oh yeah.
Well, I mean he like a lot of the comedians will like they'll get their
um,
I don't know. They'll do a special, and their
Mhm.
special will just take off, and then they. It's a little bit different now, I guess, because you have podcasts,
Yeah.
and they can still do circles and stuff,
right.
and because you have more internet now, and obviously you can stay in the limelight. He like his.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
There's
I don't know that he crashed and burned. He just disappeared.
He's
there's a
done.
category of comics that are very dirty comics. Like
I like those guys.
I love them. Andrew Dice Clay was kind of the originator
Sam
of
Kinison.
Sam Kinison. Uh, Back in the day, I can't remember his name. He was an insult comic. I love him. Uh, I'll get his name in a minute. I'll think of it. But there was one comic who was absolutely just probably one of the dirtiest people ever, but nobody believes it. It was Bob Saget from Full House.
Oh no.
Oh yes, I've
Oh no,
heard
yeah.
that. I've
He was.
heard that.
He did what was that? They did that movie on it. It was the
He was in Dirty Work.
yeah, it was no, but it was there was one you have a
Yeah, that's Dirty Work.
yeah, yeah. I know. I was saying
Marijuana is not an addiction. I did something for coke. That's an addiction.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No,
But
he.
yeah, he
Oh
was.
no,
He's a
no.
producer of
There
that
was
movie.
a running joke apparently. God, what was, I'm gonna have to look it up.
He
Sorry, it won't be.
actually he
But there were.
talks about it. He says that he did Full House for so many years, and it was all that very wholesome, clean stuff that he actually had to start doing things that were so dirty because it just ticked like a Tourette's in him. And
Oh,
and I've watched all of his specials. It's amazing. He was absolutely inventive. He was probably, from everything everybody says, he was one of the nicest people ever. I'm sorry
Aw.
that he's gone.
Oh yeah, he did
He
pass
really
away.
used to help other people so that they could develop their comedic styles. Um,
That's
there's
cool.
just all kinds of dirty comics.
yeah. It was literally. It was called the filthiest joke in the world. I can't remember it. They
Oh,
did.
you're you're
Oh
talking.
no.
Uh,
Um,
but they made
Oh
a movie about it. It was
no.
called, and it
yes,
was the
the
Aristocats. Yeah,
Aristocats.
yeah, that's
Yes,
what it was.
the joke, and that really is one of the dirtiest, most disgusting jokes ever.
I thought that was a
Um,
movie.
no,
The,
that's the Disney movie.
yeah,
This
this is literally there's a movie about they did. It's
it's
kind of
all
like a
the different
documentary.
comedians that are telling the joke and the way they tell it in their version and different things.
I watched it. It
What?
was years ago. Yeah,
Now I'm
We'll tell you
curious.
about it off camera.
Oh
yeah,
no.
There's
yeah. But Bob
actually
Saget was dirty.
yes. There's another category of comedians I love that are kind of angry comics, kind of like
Bill Burr,
Bill Burr, Lewis Black, and
Lewis Black is hilarious.
one guy that I absolutely love and adore,
Carlin,
Doug Stanhope.
Carlin.
Carlin, do you remember the Man Show with Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla?
Yeah.
Okay. When they stopped, they had Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope take over the Man Show,
Yeah, I know Doug.
which I thought
I mean, I
was
don't know him.
absolutely delightful and wonderful. For some reason, they didn't. Some bigwig somewhere decided not to
Oi, oi,
continue
oi.
with them. But yeah,
Sicky, oi, oi.
I
What is
used to
that?
It's when they would bring out this old dude who was just really good at.
Fox.
Yeah, he would
He
chug
could
beer.
chug beers and he played piano and stuff. He was great.
Yeah,
What?
and they would like literally they had a crowd of guys in there, and it'd just be because it was the Man Show, and they everybody
Right.
Siggy Saki,
Hoy, hoy, hoy.
Siggy
Saki,
Saki, hoy, hoy, hoy.
It's a
And he
old
would
Oh
chug
my
a
October
beer.
gosh.
thing.
Everybody would drink a beer, and he would chug
Oh.
two, and then
What?
they would leave the show with women
Yeah.
jumping on trampolines.
Juggies, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was a wonderful
Yeah,
show.
it was literally
was-
rated from
it was
it was for men.
it was for men.
Oh my god.
It was like they just had. It was literally like they were talking about sports. They were talking just things that guys like.
Doug
Me and my
Stanhope
brother watched
came
it
up with
all
the
the
idea.
time.
I bet.
Doug Stanhope came up with the idea that since his mother was dying with cancer and she was bored and wanted something to do, he would have her on the show. But he only had her on the show to do pornographic movie reviews.
That is awesome.
And she took that to heart and did them. It
Oh.
was great.
I guess
Absolutely.
if your son's a comedian, you're gonna have
And especially with his type of comedy, because
Yeah.
one of his greatest bits that he ever talks about is he says, "Oh, by the way, has anybody here ever been rolled by a transvestite hooker? Yeah, you too? Me too? Yeah, let me tell you the story." And he talks about him
My
and his
gosh.
friend that go out. They're
Life is
drunk
life.
they're somewhere in. All I remember is he says they were on Van Buren Street because that's where you go to cruise. And they were liquored up and drunk, and nobody would mess with them. So they just found the ugliest hooker they could and started messing with her.
Oh.
And things progressed to the story he's going to tell you. If you've never heard it, you should watch it.
Oh my god!
But
I'm not
it's
sure you'd
hilarious.
enjoy the Man Show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. It was.
I-
I mean,
It was catered to you.
It was, yeah, it was catered
It
to
was-
guys,
it
and
was
I
for
mean,
men.
yeah, and especially like their target audience was
Yeah.
literally like 18 to like 45.
Well, let's go from about 12 to 45.
Yeah.
'cause that was the other thing. They had the Man Show boy.
What is
And
that?
it was a kid named Aaron.
Oh my god,
And
that
they
little
used to-
kid was
they-
ruthless.
The kid was ruthless. They would take him places and set up things, and he would just like stand outside of a liquor store and go, "Hey, buddy, how about hooking me up? Go inside and buy me some beer." And so
or he would just say the
Oh.
rawest stuff
he would-
to females.
he
Just
would
Oh my
walk up to
goodness.
girls. They would pick out girls, and they'd be somewhere eating lunch at an outdoor cafe, and he'd just walk up and go, "Hi, I'm Aaron," and they'd be, "Hi, Aaron." And he's, "So when did you get yours done?" stuff like that.
Oh,
It was ridiculously wrong.
It was like he was like a younger version, but much more crass of the Impractical Jokers.
Absolutely.
okay.
Have you ever watched those guys?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay, but they are considered clean compared to this kid.
yeah, this kid was.
Yeah, that kid
Oh
was
my God.
raw.
Who was his mother?
I think it was somebody that worked for the show.
Yeah.
But
And
Would have to be.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah, that
But
trust me, that kid had a
still.
but
hell of a
no, they
college
were
fund.
no. That show was their ratings
Yeah.
were really good for
absolutely.
for a while. They had
Well, here's another category. How about redneck humor? We saw the rise of Jeff Foxworthy, who's one of the best-selling artists all time.
There's your sign.
Larry
What?
the Cable Guy, Bill
Larry the
Engvall,
Cable
and Ron
Guy.
White.
Yeah, no, I loved Blue Collar.
Oh, absolutely. And they talk about one of the parts of their show is where they talk about after they've performed, they're kind of jacked up. So the first thing they do is go out somewhere and they're going to eat and sit and try and calm down. And they end up doing the same thing that people like us do. We go to a Waffle House and we sit there and we talk and gossip and tell jokes and stuff back and forth. Everybody's done that. So, they're totally relatable like that. There's.
Well, they were also like, I mean, you could see running into them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, granted, they were famous, they had money and stuff, but like, I mean, like, I probably would have gotten drunk with Ron.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he was. I mean, he would put away like half of a fifth, if not a fifth, on stage.
Oh.
Do you know he's sober now?
Yeah, he's sober
He's
now.
completely
He's
sober
changed
now.
up.
Like
I bet that
he would
his liver
stand
was
there-
like help.
huh?
His liver was like help.
Oh God, the stuff he would talk about.
Absolutely.
They call me.
Tater salad.
And this is my little guy. His name is Tater Tot. You've never seen Ron?
No.
Ron
Oh,
White?
he's amazing.
Jeff Foxworthy? You never heard of him? Jeff Foxworthy. He'd be talking
think
about
I've heard of him.
rednecks.
You might be a redneck.
Nick, if
Oh, I've heard that.
there's your sign.
That's Bill Engvall. Yeah, I love Bill Engvall because he's an ultimate smartass, kind of like me.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, and I mean, but like literally the one that I out of those four, the ones that I liked the least amount was Larry the Cable Guy.
Really?
The other guys were just, I don't know, they
You just thought they were like that? They just like connected with you?
Larry's
They were
was
just like, they hit the
Larry's
humor on
not.
the
It's
head.
not that he's bad, but his is more lowbrow bargain humor.
Yeah.
The other
And the
guys
funny
were a
thing
little more
about it
inventive.
is, if you talk to him,
Mhm.
he's nothing like that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's a character that
Yeah,
he's
it's-
learned to
it's-
turn on.
It-
And
yeah,
off.
it
What?
is. It is literally an act. That's all it is.
Interesting.
He is nothing like
I
that.
wonder how many like people that we like stars that we think we know that it's literally just an act.
There's actually a guy that's very famous for that. He's before you guys' time, but there was a comedian named Foster Brooks.
I mean, Borat. I mean,
Yeah.
literally that
Well,
guy. All of his. He does.
Foster Brooks was somebody that the guy Sacha Baron Cohen actually used to see and was fond of. Foster Brooks was a comedian that used to do a lot of the Friars roast back in the day when they had Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, and all that stuff. And Foster was famous for getting on stage and he would come up and start to do, and you would think he was drunk, and he wasn't. He was sober. But he said a lot of the time growing up, his dad and this guy that worked with his dad would come home. They'd bring home a case of beer and sit there and drink. And then when the case was done, the guy would go home and his dad would go to bed. And he would sit there and listen to the guy. And I'll play something for you when we're done just so you can see it because the man is amazing at what he does.
Huh,
Well, what's
very
that? What's that
interesting.
guy? I don't know that it's an actual act, but he was in Half Baked, and he looks like he's either roaring. It's I want to say
The
it's
guy that does Goat Boy?
What?
Yes.
yeah.
So it's not Guillermo Diaz.
It's like
What is
it's
Goat
Brad
Boy?
or Brian.
Oh, you're talking. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Brian
no, the phones
Posehn,
are coming
not
out.
Brian Posehn. So let's do this. I
Have
can't
you never
remember.
seen Half Baked?
Cast of
No.
Half Baked?
He looks like he's high, like or
Jim
just like
Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Yeah, Jim Brewer is a Saturday Night alumni, and he was famous for
yeah.
doing a guy called Goat Boy.
Okay.
And Goat Boy actually started from them going into bars
Look at him.
and not having enough money for beer.
Does he not look like he's?
Yeah. Oh, he probably always is stoned.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, he would be. But that's what he said. Goat Boy came around from them going to different bars and not having enough money for beer, so he would pretend there was something wrong with him, and they go, hey man, can you hook my buddy up with a beer? He'd like, yeah, I really need beer, and he would make these.
What?
If you've never seen it, Goat Boy is hilarious, and he makes these goat notes. And he
And
would
he
Oh
can do
my
it real well
gosh.
because he
and
is.
just
He's
on
practiced.
yes, on command. And it started in bars so they could get free drinks.
Who was like, oh yeah, let me get him a drink?
Castro
What?
Casino. Okay, so I gotta find the other guy's name. There was a Don Rickles. That's I'm trying to write. He's an older comic from way back,
I've heard. Yeah.
but he's an insult
Oh yeah,
comic.
and he is.
Ooh.
He
And
was ruthless,
dirty
dude. He's done
and
it to
mean.
presidents.
But he was so good and did it in a certain way that Don Rickles actually roasted Frank Sinatra, and with Frank Sinatra's mob connections, he let him live because he was that good. But he
Yeah, Don Rickles, no punches pulled.
no punches
None.
pulled. He treats everybody the same. But when he got off stage, it was like flipping a light switch.
Yeah.
He turned back into one of the nicest people. He had a wonderful wife that he was married to all the time.
Oh.
Just the nicest guy. Would sit and talk and sign
just hold it
autographs.
all.
But he
for
was
people.
hilarious.
Oh, wow.
I actually just like maybe a couple days ago watched him do it to Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
in the movie Dirty Work.
I mean,
with,
it was years ago though.
with Norm Macdonald and Saget and all them. He played a movie theater and a manager, and he was berating people. And he said, "What are you laughing about? What are you with a look like that? Why don't you just go live in a cave with a horse and don't bother anybody?"
What?
You know,
Yeah, you'll have to. We'll pull. I'll pull some stuff.
We'll pull it up
after
and
this.
say, but yeah, he was
Oh,
he was a
goodness.
ruthless.
master of stuff back then. And then there was a lot of early comedians.
Well, like the whole thing
Dick
about
Gregory was another one who he was a black comedian, but he was amazing, and he used to tickle the guy that owned Playboy magazine, so they would let him into the Playboy Club to perform
Mhm.
when they didn't have any other comedians that were black. But he kind of paved the way for a lot of the comedians today. Doesn't matter what color they are.
Yeah.
who is this?
Dick Gregory.
I don't think I know Dick
Oh,
Gregory.
he was great. You got guys like Red Fox.
Yeah, Red Fox, and then I think Red Fox basically led to Richard Pryor. So
Yeah. And then Richard
I
Pryor.
don't know these names.
Yeah, I know it's early
You-
stuff before you, but
Oh wow, you don't know Richard Pryor?
Maybe if I saw a face.
we'll get her to watch some.
I mean,
of
the
his movies,
toy
but,
was amazing.
but you got to remember. before
But
her
yeah,
time.
that was also. I mean, you got to think about the times and everything.
and
like,
that's
hear
one
no
of the
evil,
amazing
see no evil.
benefits of having her here is because we think of things from our time frame.
Yeah.
She hasn't experienced those. She
That's
has
true.
the things of her, and that's how we get those time frames to meld in and be what they are. Is because we have her and us.
And there's a lot of things that we can show you. I mean, like the comedy, like Richard Pryor was like, okay, you know who Eddie Murphy is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever seen any of his comedy?
I've seen some, not a lot though.
Okay, like his when he first came out, like I guess what was it, like 85, 84 or something
back
like
in the
that.
day.
Yeah, and he was like his Raw special was raw, and
Oh, no.
everybody was like, there were a lot of people were like, dude, like
When that
That's
came
bad?
out,
yeah,
I worked at the movie theater.
Oh
Okay.
no.
And when Eddie Murphy Raw came out, people came running to the movie theater.
Did they leave running too?
Oh yeah, and it was always at a certain point.
yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
because
he-
people did not realize how raw and dirty he really was,
Oh,
and
my
people
goodness.
would come, and it was never guys that went to see it. It was always a guy with his girlfriend come out. I demand my money back. This is a terrible thing. But 2 days later, they'd be back with all their
the
buddies
buddies, yeah.
watching it.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, me and my brother watched it,
yeah,
but it was like
and it was really it was funny, but it's offensive,
yeah,
and it's not for
Oh.
everybody.
Yeah, and see, this is back like Richard. Like there was this one point because, and I know this is probably not a good name to bring back
Bill
up, but
Cosby.
Bill Cosby back when he was wholesome because he was Dr. Huxtable and
Yeah.
that whole
Before
and
everybody knew.
everybody watched that
Yeah,
his show
of course.
and like he was one of the jokes on there was like Eddie, why you got to use that language? Why you got to be like that? You got to be clean. Got to be stand up.
like to talk to you
What?
about the things that you've been
Oh.
saying in
And
your
then
show.
and then Eddie was like, then I called up Richard Pryor and Richard said, tell Bill to shut the fuck up and have a
Oh.
Coke.
He
What
said,
was it?
"Do people laugh when you tell your jokes? Yeah. Do people have fun when they come to your show? And tell Bill I said have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up."
Wow, you actually sounded like him.
Yeah, I love to do
Sorry,
impressions.
it was yeah, I said it wrong.
But yeah, Bill,
it was, but
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Richard Pryor was like one of it was like
absolutely.
he like
He was built. Richard Pryor was unbelievably talented, and the thing that I love about Richard is he did have his thing where he cleaned up and did some things, but well,
Oh,
not
no.
just from drugs, but from cursing and
Oh.
different
yeah.
things. But he realized that one of the things he could do
Mhm.
is really help others to develop their talent and have comedic specials and have albums and be
and
in
and
movies
he
and
was one of the
things.
first guys who actually did interactions like I don't know if he allowed hecklers at his shows,
He annihilated them,
but
Oh.
yeah, like there's
Like the
certain
people in the crowd that like say something.
yeah, like
Okay,
a
okay, I'm
lot
following.
there's some comedians that are known like what the hell was his name that I was talking about the ventriloquist doll.
oh
He
yeah,
he does
Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, like he
no,
goes
not
back.
Jeff Dunham.
Oh.
No, the guy that looks
Oh,
like one.
Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr. A lot of his is like people go to his shows
Mm-hmm.
to heckle because he allows it. He does
Oh.
the
He
interaction
interacts with them and
yeah,
destroys them.
he
Oh.
does it like I'll tell you some later, but like
Okay.
D.L. Hughley.
we've already let the language get a little out of
Yeah,
hand.
D.L. Hughley's another one that when you go to his show, you don't sit in them first 5 or 6 rows because he gonna make fun of you.
Oh.
And just to go back to Bill Cosby for a minute. There's a guy that early in his career had amazing comedy albums. They were very clean and wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
He paved the way for a lot of people. And there's all.
Red Fox didn't use language, did he?
Oh God, yes, he
He
did. He
did.
had
I haven't heard any of his stuff. I've heard of it. He was on what was that show he was on? When he on the show?
Sanford and Son.
Yeah, Sanford and Son.
He had to be good for that because it was on TV. But
Yeah.
one of the funniest bits I've ever heard came from Red Fox, where he talks about doing a convention for people who make clothing for pregnant women that are called frocks, and then for people who they were having another convention where he was the people for the frocks, the mother frockers, and then there was people who work in champagne and wine factories where they take and soak the cork and put it in the bottle. So he said he was in a place where they were doing a convention for cork soakers and mother frockers.
Oh my God.
And it's one of the funniest things you'll ever hear. Red Fox is
Plus
amazing.
his waddle.
If the movie that they had where it was Richard Pryor with Red Fox and Eddie Murphy called Harlem Nights.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
And Danny Aiello and some other people. I don't care what color you are or anything; it doesn't matter. That is just a damn good movie. It's absolutely
shot my
hilarious.
big toe.
Shot my big toe.
I've seen. You got to know we've seen a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
movies.
it's definitely a topic that you guys don't.
Well, see, also, do you know who Gene Wilder is?
Gene Wilder is
The
amazing.
original Willy Wonka.
Yep.
Have you ever seen the original Willy
Yes,
Wonka and the Chocolate
yes.
Factory? The guy who played Willy Wonka, that was Gene Wilder.
Oh.
He was also in Blazing Saddles.
Him and Richard got to be friends.
Yeah, him and Richard, they did what, like 4 or 5
Yeah,
movies?
well, Richard
Hear No Evil, See No
wrote a
Evil.
bunch of Blazing Saddles and they had Cleavon Little a star in it with Gene Wilder, but Gene Wilder and Richard were friends.
Yeah, they were, and they did a lot of movies.
They did a lot of stuff together, and it was great. Sorry,
You
Mel
okay?
Brooks is another one.
Yeah, well, Mel Brooks was in Blazing Saddles.
Absolutely, and also Gene Wilder was in Young Frankenstein. So there's all these connections between them. The biggest thing to take away
Use
from
the
this,
Schwartz.
use the Schwartz.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, we
I
forgot to.
know.
You're just looking
I'm
at
just
us like
like,
we're
okay.
just like the guy in prison that yells the joke numbers, we just do movie lines.
sorry.
I see that you guys are just like
Yeah.
bouncing.
Yeah.
And it's okay, folks. We're gonna have her watch a lot of movies. We've got
We're
some
gonna get her up
homework.
with
yes,
that on
yes,
this.
yes,
But
yes.
sorry, also, I mean, you've got.
We're
like,
actually going to
you've got
have a night where we stay here at
multiple-
Lakeside Studios. We're going to stay up late. Eddie the janitor is going to set it up so we can watch
Eddie the
movies
janitor.
here.
We hired somebody new.
Cool Eddie. No, Cool Eddie's been with us forever. He's the guy with the keys that locks the doors and everything for us.
Oh, I thought it auto locked.
No. Olaf and Jorgen, I don't think you guys don't have keys to here. It's just Eddie, right? Yeah, it's
They
just
should
Eddie.
have keys.
Do y'all do anything?
They sit there and make fun of us.
They have jokes.
They sit in there and eat pizza while we work our ass off. I'm only kidding.
Yeah,
only
I'm
kidding.
joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Peace and love.
yeah, but they'll get us back for it somehow. I'm sure Olaf will, as they're doing this, there will be something on the screen down here that we can't see while we're
Oh,
filming that
no.
he's going to have pop up. So
No.
he does that to us, but I love him for it. The biggest thing to take away from this is jokes are universal. It doesn't matter what language you speak, where you come from, what background you are. Jokes are just damn funny.
Unless you suck at telling them.
Okay, well, there is some different things like that. I was trying to think if is there one joke to go out on, but no, it's I can't think of any I can tell, but
Me, I'm the joke.
Still Charlie.
Unfortunately.
There's actually, and I'll
my
mention this
mother.
just so and we'll put it up on screen if you've never heard. There was an old comedian who does a thing called the boat ride. And I'm trying to think of his name right now, and I can't.
The boat ride?
Yeah, it's a joke. The boat ride.
Fancy.
I want to go back.
Oh, there it is. Yes,
I
by
wanna watch
Jay
those.
Hickman. Jay Hickman is now passed.
Oh.
Jay Hickman was a great comedian, and he actually, to get gigs so he could do things, would actually perform in strip clubs. Because he was dirty, man, but he would go in and perform in strip
Got
clubs.
dirtier when he went in there.
I was about to say,
Absolutely.
how mad do you
but
think the people were? They're going into the strip club and there's a guy telling jokes.
He has a thing where he talks about the boat ride, and
Dirty
if you've
and
never
glittery.
heard of it, you should listen to it. It's absolutely hilarious.
Stripper glitter.
I'll play it for you later, but
Oh goodness.
that is our episode on jokes and stuff.
Sorry, it's just talking about that. It was Matt Rife just he does a bit where he's talking about, wouldn't you be ticked off if you went to a strip club and she like does a circle? It says, comes out and starts telling jokes. Sorry, he cracks me up. He's gotten a lot of hate lately, but he's still.
I got one joke to leave on. You ready?
Okay.
Sure.
All right, guys at home, and his wife comes walking through the door, and she goes, "Honey, I got great news." He says, "Oh, what is it?" She says, "I just got back from the grocery store. I bought a lottery ticket, and we won. So pack your bags." He says, "Where are we going?" She says, "I don't know where you're going. Just pack your bags and get out."
She's like, "You gotta go. Can't stay here."
Dun, 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 dun.
That was a good one.
Guys, we thank you for tuning
Thank
in.
you.
We
Thank
love you. We hope you
you.
enjoyed our look at jokes and telling jokes. And if we offended you, maybe you need to get out in life more.
Or don't sue us.
Yeah,
Please don't
don't
sue
sue us.
us.
That's a good thing to do.
I'm
Olaf,
already
you can
being
say
sued.
Olaf is probably making the
Not
thing
really.
going, go ahead,
Not yet,
sue
at
him.
least.
Not yet.
Yeah, basically you're going to get our foam little dragon guy and my Freddy the Falcon doll. That's all we have to get.
And my
A half empty
Half a
Celsius.
Celsius.
2/3 of a Celsius.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Okay.
But you ain't get my soft badge. I'll kill you.
What?
Never touch Charlie's soft baked cookies.
Oh.
So, guys, you have a great day. We thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you. Remember, you can always write us at whatwelikepc@gmail.com. It's all one word. Somebody point so it'll come up.
Bing.
See, there she goes. Charlie, point up. See if it goes up. Yep, it's right there. It's amazing how you guys do that. So anyway, you guys have a great time. We thank you so much for coming. Please write us, talk to us, do something. We need your attention. You have a wonderful time.
Tell us a joke.
Tell us
Put it
a
in the
joke.
comments. Tell us a joke.
Tell us our jokes suck.
Please, none of my friends tell jokes.
Send us
We
a
don't wanna get
recipe.
shut down.
Send us a recipe. We love things on food. Send us an idea to do a show. You know what?
Comment. Here,
Send us
follow.
an email about your best friend's birthday party. I don't care what it is. Just do something. Get off your butt and do something with your life.
Or say hi.
Just say hi. Like the Big Lord.
Yeah.
That's
Is he
right.
gonna be the only one?
You know what? I have early knowledge that says the Big Lord might have a thing.
Oh.
What will he say? All right, guys. You have a great time. We'll see you later.
Bye.